Why reaching $100,000 net worth changes everything and what comes next. You check your bank account and there's maybe a few thousand in there. Maybe you've got some investments, $2,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 if you've been really disciplined. But every time you look at it, it feels small. Like no matter how hard you try, budgeting, saving, skipping nights out, you're barely moving forward. And then you hear people say things like, just save your first $100,000. And you're sitting there thinking, $100,000? That's not even realistic. But here's the thing, that first $100,000 isn't just a number. It's the point where everything changes. My name is Zach, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people build wealth from nothing. If you're someone who feels like you're doing everything right, saving money, trying to invest, but still not seeing real progress, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down why hitting $100,000 in net worth is one of the most important financial milestones you will ever reach. And more importantly, what actually happens after you get there. Why the first $100,000 feels impossible. Here's what most people don't realize. The journey from $0 to $100,000 is the hardest phase of building wealth. Not because of the math, but because of the psychology. Let's break this down. According to Federal Reserve data, the median savings for Americans under 35 is less than $5,000. That means most people aren't even close. And it makes sense. When you're starting out, you're dealing with lower income student loans, rent or living expenses, zero momentum. So every dollar you save feels like a sacrifice. You're trading real life enjoyment today for something that doesn't even feel meaningful yet. Saving $500 when you have $1,000 feels huge, but saving $500 when you have $50,000, it barely moves the needle. That's why most people quit early, because in the beginning, progress is painfully slow. The math that changes everything. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you invest $100,000 into the stock market with an average return of 8% per year. That's not crazy. That's roughly the long-term average of the S&P 500. 8% of $100,000 is $8,000. That means without doing anything, your money is now making you $8,000 per year. That's over $650 per month, just sitting there. Now compare that to when you only have $10,000 invested. 8% of $10,000 is $800 per year. That's like $66 a month. That's nothing. This is the shift. Before $100,000, you are doing all the work. After $100,000, your money starts doing the work. The hidden psychological shift. But honestly, the math isn't even the most powerful part. It's the mindset shift. Because once you hit $100,000, something clicks. You stop seeing money as something you spend and start seeing it as something that works for you. Let me explain. Before $100,000, you think in terms of cost, this costs $200. That's too expensive. After $100,000, you think in terms of opportunity, if I invest this $200, what does it become? Now you might be thinking, okay, but that's just a mindset thing. Does it really matter? Yes, a lot. Because behavior follows identity. And once you see yourself as someone who builds wealth, you start making completely different decisions. Why $100,000 is a tipping point. Here's a stat that will probably surprise you. According to financial studies, the time it takes to go from $0 to $100,000 can take 7 to 10 years. But $100,000 to $200,000 often takes less than half that time. Why? Compounding. Let's say you invest $1,000 per month. You already have $100,000 invested. After 1 year, your contributions equals $12,000. Your growth equals approximately $8,000. That means almost 40% of your progress is coming from your money, not you. This is where things accelerate. The 3 phases of wealth building. Look, building wealth isn't one long journey. It's actually 3 completely different phases. Phase 1, survival, $0 to $10,000. You're just trying to stay afloat. Emergency fund, basic savings. Phase 2, foundation, $10,000 to $100,000. This is where discipline is built. Budgeting, investing, consistency. Phase 3, acceleration, $100,000 plus. This is where wealth actually grows. And most people never reach phase 3. Not because they can't, but because they quit in phase 2. What comes after $100,000? Now here's the part no one talks about. Hitting $100,000 doesn't make you rich, but it gives you leverage. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because after $100,000, your focus should shift from saving money to growing money. Let me say that again. Before $100,000, your biggest weapon is saving. After $100,000, your biggest weapon is investing. That means optimizing your portfolio, increasing your income streams, taking calculated risks, because now your money has weight. The mistake that keeps people stuck. Here's what most people do wrong. They reach $100,000 and then they slow down. They think, I made it. They upgrade their lifestyle, they get comfortable, and suddenly they stop pushing. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it kills momentum because instead of your money growing, your expenses grow. The real goal isn't $100,000. Here's the truth. $100,000 is not the finish line. It's the starting line, because once you understand how to get there, you can repeat the process. And this is where wealth actually becomes inevitable. Actionable steps to reach $100,000 faster. So let's make this practical. If you're below $100,000, here's what you need to focus on. 1, increase your income. You can only cut so much, but income, that's unlimited. Even an extra $500 per month invested equals $6,000 per year. 2, automate everything, set up automatic investing. Remove decision making. 3, track your net worth monthly. What gets measured improves. 4, invest consistently, not perfectly, consistently. 5, avoid big financial mistakes. Bad debt, lifestyle inflation, emotional investing, final perspective. Look, the first $100,000 will feel slow, frustrating, sometimes pointless. But here's what most people don't realize. Every dollar you invest early is building momentum, and momentum is invisible until it's not. Then suddenly, everything starts moving fast. So if you're on your way to $100,000, don't quit. You're closer than you think. And once you get there, you'll realize that was never the goal. It was just the beginning. If this video helped you understand money on a deeper level, make sure to subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about making money, we talk about building real, lasting wealth. And I'll see you in the next one.